Coast FM 963. You're on Raw and More. Angus Hamel with you as always between 7 and 9 p.m. I hope you're having a wonderful, nice and cool evening. It's the first show of Raw and More in winter, the 2nd of June 2025. And it's also nice and warming, even though it's cold outside, because we've got quite the crew in the studio. It's the first time in a while we've had a bit of a full house of sorts. Across the desk from me, as always, is Steve Wheatley. How are you going, Stefan?
Yes, mate. Good evening and good evening, Coasties. Yes, wherever you're tuning in from right now, all around the Central Coast. Happy first day of winter, mate. Hope it's treating you well. And yes, it is very nice and toasty and warm in here. Going to be bringing you some great hits to be keeping you warm on this Monday night. Now, mate, as you know, it's sort of been a bit quiet the last couple of weeks, has it not?
It has, because a certain individual has not been joining us.
Well, that is correct. Well, I thankfully, listeners, have some good news. Now, I was on my way into the studio this evening and I called into Woolworths, but that is not the good news. The good news is that after a couple of weeks and being MIA and being his concerned friends as we are, he is back. I have found him in the Woolworths aisles, Brando Macmillan.
Hey. Oh, he's back, ladies and gentlemen.
He is back. Woolworths, the home of the fresh food people and missing Raw and More Freds.
Well, I'm glad that you finally found our missing friend, because I was starting to get a little bit worried, especially when he didn't come on air with us last week after Para beat Manly. That would have been an opportunity.
By the way.
I've been waiting to say that too.
The joke is on you, Brando, because the gracing period for you to talk about that is officially finished. So we'll talk more about the fact that Manly won and Para lost over the weekend.
That's right, yeah.
Back to regular programming. How relieving. And speaking of relieving, this guy's beautiful face once again, James O'Brien, is opposite us.
Yeah, I'm here.
How are you going, Hummers?
Yeah, could be better, but all right.
Why could you be a bit of a stressful day today?
Yeah, give and take.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm better because I'm here.
That's
He is a pretty busy man. He works very hard down there at the Terrigal Beach House.
Yeah, and now he works very hard at being our vibes guy in the studio. So thank you for bringing the vibes as always, Jamesy. Brando, I really want to focus on you because, like Steve said, it's been forever since you've last been in the studio. Where the hell have you been?
Guys, it's been raining. The roads were blocked. Like, come on, it's like a 30-minute drive to get here.
I don't know if you were tuning into the show the last couple of weeks, but we have been talking about you. We found it hard to believe how even with the rain and the roads, he still couldn't make it in.
Ah, well, at least some of us have balls, eh, Steve?
I know, Steve. I'll be the bigger man here, as I have a gift for you, as I didn't have a chance to give it to you on your birthday.
Oh.
Well, putting me on my spot, listeners. Well,
He's actually handing it over to you right now, Steve.
He is. So what do we have here? Oh. So for those listening in at home right now, Brando Macmillan has given me a very nice, lovely coffee mug that will very much go to use, that has my photo on it and has the words Blind Speed, which...
Speed Racer.
Sorry. That you probably may remember probably from a little while back when I drove a car down at Eastern Creek Raceway, and we actually have a podcast version of that episode now.
We do. It's up on your YouTube channel, and that was a very proud day for us because we got to see a miracle happen, a blind man driving. So,
well, you got to experience, mate.
I was a passenger, and now it's immortalized in this beautiful mug. Brando, because you gave Steve such a lovely present.
High five, buddy.
I think that's what that deserves. That's nice. Well,
no, thank you for that.
What a beautiful peace offering to start things off on the show this evening from Brando. I think, Steve, does that earn any time period of us not making fun of Parramatta?
Yeah, no, look, I think that probably does. I think that probably deserves a 2-song probably time period, and then, back to straight to ripping on Brando.
Well, sounds like a plan to me, my man. We are celebrating not Parramatta losing, but another team in blue winning last week. More on that very shortly, but first, here's the first of the 2 songs. Forever in blue jeans, more like forever in blue jerseys. Coast FM 963. Oh, thank you. That was one of my best, wasn't it? Oh, thanks, guys. Oh, stop it. Give me more. I'm kidding. You're on Raw and More. Ango, Brando, Steve-O, and James. O'Brien. Giving you a bunch of tunes and conversations to warm the soul on this cool winter's evening. Those two tunes right there, as you probably were able to tell, had something to do with the colour blue. First, we had English boy band Blue with their hit single All Rise, and then we heard Neil Diamond with Forever in Blue Jeans. Blue jerseys were running riot up at Suncorp Stadium last Wednesday night New South Wales ran right over Queensland and beat them on their home turf.
Yes, they did.
Their own territory, like you said.
Oh, how good was it?
Bring on Perth.
I reckon we've not lost in Perth. Like, the track record going into Wednesday night, I don't know if you guys remember, but New South Wales coming into Wednesday night had never lost on the 28th of May in Brisbane, and the streak continues. That's 4 from 4.
Yeah.
Very specific start. I got the chance to watch that game with the family. We had a bit of a footy feast, some hot dogs. How'd you guys celebrate Origin Day last week, Steve?
Yeah, no, I was actually just watching it at home, mate. I did. And actually, it was actually quite funny, listeners. So, Nostradamus, as you called me last week, nearly struck again.
Struck again, yes. What was your prediction? Can you refresh us on that?
So, I think I had 3, just random predictions. So, I had a New South Wales winger to score a try at any time. And, we got that. So, that was Zach Lomax. I also had Xavier Coates, which I definitely also predicted actually in last week's show. I told you about that, and you too, Jamesy, to score for Queensland. I just couldn't pick the score, unfortunately.
That's okay. I don't think anyone expected New South Wales to dominate that much, especially in Brisbane.
I mean, we could have dominated a bit more, but yeah.
It was very happy in the Macmillan household, but I remember at work when everyone was talking about how good it was, I remember everyone just gave Cleary heaps for his kicking.
Yeah. He was shocking, wasn't he?
There's a kicking department there.
And the funniest part is they swapped him for Lomax in the end, which everyone was saying he should have been the kicker in the first place, and he missed probably the easiest kick of the lot.
Nathan Cleary missed a field goal from like 20 metres smack bang in front.
I know. Well, it's funny. I was at my auntie's 80th birthday on Saturday night when Manly were playing Brisbane, and my young cousin who was born in South Africa, she comes over to me when Ruben Garrick's lining up to take a kick. He nails it, of course, and she goes, "Why doesn't he play for New South Wales?"
Actually, you know what? That's actually a very good question to your cousin, because he comes from a very well known rugby league junior club. He does, Ruben Garrick.
Gerringong. When they produce a lot of great kickers, a lot of great point scorers, like Mick Cronin, for example. Jamesy, how did you celebrate Origin night?
Well, I was actually going to celebrate by getting snacks, but I ended up having unskipped cutscene with Dad. Like, me and Dad were just chatting.
Oh, I love a conversation with the parentals, yes.
And then after that, Origin just started. We just started watching.
Nice.
And I was going to go to the survey and get some snacks. I thought, well, it's half time already, so might as well watch the whole thing.
Yeah, did you go for some chalky milk and mee goreng?
I've tried to, but yeah, I had to give that a miss.
What did you end up having as a footy feast?
Oh, nothing real. I just sat down and watched.
A fresh bowl of fresh air, eh?
Yeah, fresh bowl of nothing. Just like Queensland.
Well, what's the greatest thing also to come out of with Origin wrapping up, having the first game last week, and with Manly also over the weekend, is that the good news is a Maroon team won over the weekend. The bad news is it wasn't a Queensland team.
Yeah, bad news for Kemo Kemsley, who might be listening right now, the Queensland fan among us.
I'll give him a bit of credit. He was being a good sport while we were giving him heaps.
Well, about time he matured.
He was. Actually, speaking of giving people heaps, so I actually got a question for you, Jamesy. Now, Brando, because of that lovely gift you gave me before the ad break, I promise I will not give you anything more about Parramatta for the rest of the show, because of that lovely gesture, and because Parramatta, this is really hard for me to say, Angus, Parramatta, you beat us in the second game.
Oh, that's old news.
Yeah, well, because we are even Steven at the moment, I will not say anything for the rest of the night. But I have a question, though, for you, Jamesy. Now, Angus, do you know who we are playing this week?
That's right. We're playing Newcastle on Thursday night.
Yes, the M1 F3 derby. So, yes, we're playing Newcastle. Now, when I first met you, Jamesy, you were a Newcastle Knights supporter, but recently you have had a bit of a liking towards Manly. So, my question...
I think Stephen Wheatley is trying to get me disowned from the family.
Oh, really?
I knew what you were going with.
This has not been...
Spoiler James's family.
All right. Well,
my question to you was going to be so where is your loyalty going to be with this? Are you going to...
It's going to be the Knights, Steve. It's going to be with the Knights.
You're staying loyal?
You're
staying loyal? Fair enough. I had to ask.
Yeah, that's fair. I get you.
Well, you're not invited to our watch party, is he, Steve?
Right.
No invitation for you.
I imagine if Knights win, I probably won't be in next week.
Well, I don't know. If Knights win, you could give it to us like Brando didn't get the chance to do. But speaking of parties, I want to give a little shout out right now to one of the most prolific Coast FM listeners ever. She was behind the inspiration of one of our segments we had on Raw earlier in the evening, and she just rang us up to tell us it's her birthday today. So Marianne from Morisset, she's listening in right now. Let's all give a big happy birthday to Marianne from Morisset. Woo! She's turning, I think, 29 today, so very happy birthday to her. And also shout out to Ben Brown, a bit of a Raw favourite who just called in. He wanted to hear a song that gives him a lot of happy feelings in life, and who am I to say no to a legend of our show? So that's coming up right after this. Coast FM 963, you're on Raw and More. Ango, Brando, Steve-O and James O'Brien with you between 7 and 9 p.m, playing some Butte tunes to warm the soul on this winter's evening. That right there was the 1975, one of my personal favourite bands, with their 2018 hit single, It's Not Living If It's Not With You. Aww. That one goes out to a bit of a favourite here on Raw and More. Ben Brown, who's listening in right now, he called into the studio and said he was feeling good, he was feeling high on life, and he wanted a tune on the airwaves to express that. And no better than that feel-good track right there. So Ben, thanks so much for your call. We really appreciate ya, and we really hope you enjoyed that tune. And speaking of tunes that make you feel good, it's time for... Well, it comes around once in a blue moon, much like his appearance on the show. It's Brando's Good Vibe of the Night. Ooh, yeah. Yes, it's Brando's Good Vibe of the Night, the segment where he dives deep into his own personal playlist, pulls out a song that he thinks has amazing vibes and slaps it out there on the Coast FM airwaves, hoping that you, Ben Brown perhaps, enjoy it as much as he does. Now, Brando, you have got a bit of a reputation going right now for giving us songs that not only are so underground, they've never touched the Coast FM airwaves much really in the past, but also songs that you may or may not have had a thing to do with.
Yes, but before we get into that, Angus, do you remember the Coast Weekender?
Yes, the Coast Weekender. Sunday nights, it was after me on the Sunday session.
Yes, that's right. So Robbie, who was the host, I would give him some suggestions and stuff like that. And I had this funny idea to give him this one. I was like, hey, Robbie, I know this is like a bit different from the style, as like the verses have kind of like this dreamy indie pop kind of vibe, but the drop has like this Chainsmokers-esque kind of thing going on. The reason this was funny, you guys will find out soon, where after he heard the sample, he's like, oh, that sounds pretty good. Like, what's the name of the song? And I just responded by going... haven't thought of a name yet, and he's like, wait, you made that? Yes, I made that with some help with American singer-songwriter Danu and Nigerian producer Omiza, who helped with the drop and the keyboards and stuff like that. And Danu, again, sang lead vocals and also wrote the first verse and the chorus. And me, not only I'm the guy who put it all together, I also played the guitar, bass, I wrote the second verse, and like a little bit of backing vocals here and there. And I did all this, and like these guys were paid, by the way, my own money, just to get that reaction from Robbie.
Well, we stand a man who commits to the bit. And for those who might not remember, Coast Weekender was a show that aired Sunday nights from 8 till 10. And it was kind of like a club sort of show, electronic, dancey sort of music. Robbie Shafenik, he was the host of it. And without further ado, here is Brando. Dare I say the greatest contribution to a Sunday night show on Coast FM anyone's ever made.
It's called So I Know, by the way.
It's called So I Know and So You Know. Brando did have a big part in this, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful piece of local dream pop.
Baby, special. Tell me all the sleep, so I know. Oh, I know.
Coast FM 963, you're on Roar and More. That right there is a song that you probably have never even heard of, even though it is such a banger. Something you'd probably hear at the clubs around Euro or even Terrigal, if you can believe it.
Yes.
That was Brando's Good Vibe of the Night, which was, of course,
So I Know.
by
Me!
I know.
With some help from singer-songwriter Danu and producer Omniza.
Dude, I can't believe how good that track. I know that you're a musician. I know that you've had plenty of producing experience, but that is actually such a banging track. If I didn't know it was you already, I would have had the exact same reaction as Robbie when you played it on Coast Weekender.
Yes, and I made that song just to get that reaction from him only. I just forgot about it afterwards.
Is it, I mean, that's really good. Is it available anywhere to listen to, or is it going to be available anywhere to listen to?
Just keep your eyes peeled, boys. That's all I'll say.
Oh, fantastic. Electronic album incoming from Brando Macmillan.
Good, it's very up your alley, mate. It's definitely got that, from what I did hear, that very electric indie bluey vibe.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking, that I reckon if he submitted that on air at my other workplace, it would be a very good chance of making it on air. So Brando could be a famous electronic music producer this time next year. So that's pretty exciting. And also something exciting is 2 songs, they sound exactly alike. Yes, these are 2 songs, and they sound alike.
Hey guys, these songs sound exactly alike.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Well, it's funny because it's a sound alike segment, the segment where I give you 2 songs to listen to, one original and one that I guess you could say took a little bit of inspiration from the original. Whether it be sampling, re-recording, or straight up plagiarism with the melody or lyrics, it's up to my team of sleuths right in front of me right now to try and figure out if the person that took the inspiration from the original did it in a legal fashion, or if it was very, very naughty, great unsuccess, got in big trouble, had to pay big money to get out of it. Well, he's back. The professor of music theory, as we just heard a moment ago, Brandon Macmillan is here, and Dr. James O'Brien and Steve Wheatley are going to meld their minds together and try and figure out if this sample was done legally or illegally. Starting off with the original out of the 2 songs, here is a bit of Warren Zevon going back to the heartland of America with this 70s classic. It's called Werewolves of London. What a beaut tune right there. Celebrating summer in the midst of the start of winter on Coast FM 963. Raw and more. And we're in the midst of our Sound Alike segment where I give you two songs where one is the original. One took a little bit of inspiration from the original. It's up to my team of sleuths, Dr. Stephen Wheatley, Dr. James O'Brien and Professor Brandon McMillan, to try and figure out if the inspiration, sampling, re-recording, plagiarism even, if it was done in a legal way or in an illegal way. Those two tunes right there. At the top we heard from Warren Zevon with his 1978 hit single Werewolves of London, and the song you just heard was Kid Rock with his country pop rock track from 2008 called All Summer Long, which kind of took a little bit of inspiration of the melody of a couple of songs.
A little.
Yeah, just a tad.
A bit of Sweet Home Alabama in there, of course, and the piano line from Werewolves of London. But the question is, guys, was he all good to do it, or did he get into big trouble?
I'm going to say big trouble because Kid Rock is nothing but trouble.
Oh, so we found something else that Brando has beef with. Okay.
Yes.
So you're going illegal, straight up.
Yeah.
All righty, here's the professor. What do you reckon, Hammers?
As the professor of guessing answers,
You are good at that?
I think there's a bit of a pirate activity going on.
All right, so you reckon he's done it illegally as well?
Very naughty.
Naughty, bad
Illegal.
boy. All right, Stefan, are you going to go with your brethren here, or are you going to branch out on your own?
No, I am actually going to go with Brandon on this one. I'm actually fairly confident on this.
I'm not confident now that he's on my side.
Oh, well, now that
A bad luck charm.
Now that Steve agrees with me, well, no, look, mate, you should actually feel comfortable actually too, because as I said, I picked those try scorers in the football. So Nostradamus predicts that and is actually very confident that yes, Brandon is right and that it was illegal, very naughty. Yes, because he does claim to be a bit of a lone wolf, a bit of a cowboy. Does Kid Rock, and I do actually remember hearing quite a while back when he actually first brought All Summer Long out that it actually very quickly they had actually said no, you've actually done this legally, Warren Zevon. So yeah, I'm actually going to be with Brandon on this one.
So you reckon he's in trouble? Brando, I saw a bit of sweat pop on your forehead when Steve
Yeah, he's
agreed with
sweating.
you. Do you want to change your answer, or are you going to stick with yourself?
I know based on my history, when me and Steve finally make an agreement, we're wrong. But no, I'm going to stay.
All right.
I'm dying on that ship. It's illegal.
Alrighty. Well, I can reveal right now that the sample of Warren Zevon in Kid Rock's song was... It was actually legal. Oh, man.
Well-
So, musically wise, it's a mashup, of course, of Sweet Home Alabama and Werewolves of London. It originated from the producer of the track, Mike Clark. He sampled Werewolves of London for another track he was going to do, but then Kid Rock really loved what he did with the sample and wanted it on his song. And he came up with the idea to mash it up with Sweet Home Alabama and make this beautiful country pop rock song. They got permission from not only Warren Zevon, but all the members of Lynyrd Skynyrd as well to put that song together. So I can imagine Kid Rock, considering it's his most popular song, did not get many royalties for doing the right thing, but hey, at least he did the right thing. And Brando, what have we learnt today?
That Steve is nothing but bad luck.
Well, geez, I didn't see that answer coming.
Well, at least Kid Rock avoids a lawsuit.
That's right. He did the right thing and he's keeping his nose clean and he's out of trouble, which is the main thing. Keeping himself all good. These guys are all good on 0 points apiece.
Yeah,
Coming
that's
up,
fine.
we're going to be hearing My Good Vibe of the Night. Speaking of sound-alikes, this is a bit of a, hey, I've heard this before edition of Angus's Good Vibe of the Night. Yes, it's My Good Vibe of the Night, the segment where I dive deep into my own personal playlist, pull out a song or two I think have immaculate vibes, slap them out there on the Coast FM airwaves and hope that you, yes you, Brandon McMillan sitting opposite me right now, enjoy it as much as I do. Now, one thing I do love from occasion to occasion is a good cover. Every so often, a cover of a pre-existing song comes out that kind of takes the world by storm. This time last year, a young indie pop rock duo by the name of Royal Otis were taking over the charts with their rendition of Sophie Ellis-Bextor's Murder on the Dance Floor. And later on in the year, they did the same with their rendition of the Cranberries' Linger. Well, there is a series on a radio station called Triple J that you might know called Like a Version, where a popular artist sometimes, but mostly kind of relatively unknown artists come in and they do their own rendition of an already existing track. I've been really following this series quite closely over the years, and I wanted to give you a couple of my favourites that have come out in 2025 so far of songs that I'm sure a lot of people know and love. This one that you're about to hear, especially first, is the one that I think is my favourite cover of the year so far by a bit of a folky country pop rock outfit known as The Dregs. Here is their rendition of Aha's Take On Me. Coast FM 963, you're on Roar and More. That right there was Angus's Good Vibe of the Night, which was a couple of covers that are from original songs, speaking of sound alikes earlier, that were released this year that I think are two of the best I've heard all year. At the top, we heard from Aussie folk country pop rockers The Dregs with their cover of Aha's Take On Me.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. And the song you just heard was one of my personal favourite bands, Ballpark Music, with their cover of Imogen Heap's Hide and Seek. Got the chance to see those guys at the end more on Friday night. They were fantastic. Didn't play that song, but they played a lot of their original songs. I wanted to ask you guys, you were really vibing out in the studio to those two tracks. Which is your favourite out of the two, do you reckon, from those covers?
Right, who wants to go first?
Well, I'll go first. So I think probably out of those two covers, mate, probably one I think I probably may have liked the most was Aha's cover of Take On Me. I think probably I liked that one because I also obviously like the original from Aha.
For sure.
I think probably that Aha. Yes. Aha. Yeah, so I think probably that was my favourite. But funny you mentioned about Ballpark Music. I was wondering about this when we had Brando's Good Vibe of the Night playing earlier tonight. Now, Brando, tell me if this is true or not, because as we know, you are a bit of a musician. Is it true that you're possibly working on a cover of one of Ballpark's original covers, how they have that cover,
yes.
Who Wants to Move to Melbourne? Is it true that you're working on a version of that song, but it's called Who Wants to Live in Newcastle?
Yeah, please don't move to Newcastle. Yeah,
I don't think that'll be a cover, Steve, since...
Newcastle is Brendan's favourite place.
There we go. I thought so.
Can we mute James's mic, please?
No, that'll be a bonus track on the Honey Mustard album. Speaking of tracks that are brilliant, actually, I'll get you guys. What was your favourite out of the two covers first?
I'll be quick. I like the Hide and Seek cover.
Yeah, that's beautiful, isn't it?
I like the Take On Me cover because we're dancing to that.
Yeah, so James is like me. He likes Aha's cover.
That was super duper cute. I actually agree more with Brando, but I love both of them. They're both going to chart well in the Hottest 100 this year, I reckon. And speaking of the Hottest 100, awesome segue. We are well and truly over the 8 o'clock threshold, but we are still going to play our little quiz right here. 3 songs back to back to back right here that charted in the top 5 of the Hottest 100 of 2004, I believe, is the year we settled on in the green room.
That is correct.
It's up to these guys when we come back to tell me which of these 3 songs charted the highest. Starting off with a fantastic bit of Aussie indie rock right here. James loves this track. He's belted it out at karaoke before. Bit of Eskimo Joe with From the Sea. Gosh, why would anyone want to scar? Coast FM 963, you're on the second hour of Roar and More. Angus Hamel, Steve Wheatley, Brendan McMillan and James O'Brien with you. We just heard 3 songs back to back to back right there from the year of...
Oh yeah, it's the same year where World of Warcraft was the most popular video game at the time, and it was the same year where 33 million people all tuned in to see the final episode of Frasier, and that year was 2004.
That's insane. 33 million people. That's more than our entire country watched the last episode of that show.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think, guys, wasn't that also the year that the Olympics was in your second home country, Jamesy, Greece?
Athens, yeah.
Oh yeah,
2004 Olympics, yeah. So, yeah.
Australia did very well there. And also in the Hottest 100 of that year, we just heard 3 songs that charted in the top 5. In fact, actually, I can narrow it down even more for you, gentlemen. The top 3 of the Hottest 100 of 2004, we going back to the top there with a bit of Eskimo Joe, awesome Aussie indie rock with From the Sea. Then we heard from Scottish rockers Franz Ferdinand with Take Me Out, and the song you just heard was Australia's singing songwriting princess Missy Higgins with Scar. I posed a question to you guys right now. Which song charted the highest?
I'll go with Missy. Just a gut feeling, really. No real research or anything like that.
Fair enough.
Sometimes a hunch is all you need.
Yes.
And what will you do, Brando, if Steve is thinking the same thing?
Oh, then I'll immediately change it.
All right, well, what is Steve thinking?
Well, Brando, you might want to start thinking of a different song, because I am going to be taking Missy Higgins too, with her a great singing and acoustic guitar skills. Yeah.
Speaking of taking, I'll take Take Me Out as my new choice.
Are you actually going to
Yes.
Are you going to change? Is that fully you're locking in Take Me Out?
Yeah.
All right, Jamesy, what do you reckon? Are you going to go one of these guys' choices?
Yes,
Or do you...
I'm going to be a bit biased, and because I probably know a little bit, so I think Take Me Out will be the one.
Ah, yes. I know
Yeah.
there was a couple of your favourite karaoke songs in there.
Yeah, I think Esky Joe would be the second one, and Scar would be the third.
Okay, so you're going in order, the top three. Well, I can now reveal the song that charted the highest out of those three was, in fact... Take Me Out.
Oh, hey, he read my mind.
We're getting a full-on celebration in the studio right now, hugging and fist-bumping and everything. Brando, you did well to not pick Scar with Steve there.
Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
He's smiling inside.
Steve's got a grimace of pain on his face. Yes, Take Me Out, Franz Ferdinand topped the chart. Not only that, it got more than double the amount of votes second place got, which was Scar by Missy Higgins. Because of that, they actually played the studio version and the live version of that track, and Eskimo Joe came in at number 3 with From the Sea. Other songs that did well that year were Somebody Told Me by The Killers, Black Betty by Spiderbait, Mr. Brightside by The Killers, of course, as well. Plenty of fantastic tracks. They all charted in the top 10 right there. So congratulations, Brando. Congratulations, Jamesy. You did very well not going for the local act, but we're about to go for a local act now.
And now it's time for the local list. Brought to you by Homebrewed.
Yes, it's the segment where the Homebrewed boys, Cameron Smith and Eamon Snow, who used to be in this very time slot, gone but never forgotten, their legacy of supporting local music lives on because they give me a brand new release by a local artist every single week to premiere for you on the Coast FM airwaves. Tonight's pick comes to us from Cameron Smith, and it is Northern Beaches-based musician Millie McPherson. She's just dropped her debut album, Evoca, and the title track is what we've chosen to highlight here. You know, being from the Central Coast with Evoca Beach and all that jazz.
Of course.
The album's 10 tracks long, shares a journey that ranges from codependency to emotional vulnerability to evolving views on faith to just appreciating the natural and environmental beauty of living on the coast. That last part is what this single, Evoca, is all about. Without further ado, here is our local list pick for tonight. Millie McPherson with Evoca. A beautiful piece of coasty folk right there on Coast FM 963, Roar and More. That was our pick for the local list this evening. Brand new track by Northern Beaches-based musician Millie McPherson called Evoca. That's her brand new single from her brand new album of the same name. Hopefully she'll be putting those songs into a live format in the near future. Watch this space. And a beautiful track inspired by not only the Central Coast of Evoca Beach, but also the main street in Randwick, Sydney, where her love of music began. So some fantastic local coasty connections in that track. Now, coming up, we are going to be hearing, speaking of a coasty connection, Steve's good vibe of the night. But first, we're going to be hearing a wonderful folky outfit that I got the chance to see the other week right after this. Coast of M963, you're on Roar and More. That right there was Midnight Chicken with a track from their brand new self-titled record called The Publican Looks High. And speaking of someone else I want to say hi to, it's time for... a segment that makes you feel high on the inside. It is Steve's Good Vibe of the Night. That's right. It's Steve's good vibe of the night. It's his turn to pick a song that he reckons has immaculate vibes. Slap him out there on the Coast FM airwaves and hope that you enjoy it as much as he does. Stefan, what have you got for us tonight, sir?
Yes, I have something very interesting. Before I go into my good vibe of the night, shout out to a couple of people tuning in tonight. Paddy from Nara, shout out to you, mate, for calling in to the show before. And we've also our local list for tonight's show. The name of that song being Evoker. Shout out to my dad, who is probably our number one. Yes, no, you've lost a couple of positions. Troy from Asquith. Number one, Roar and More's number one supporter, my dad, listening at Evoker Beach tonight, tuning in to the show tonight. So my good vibe of tonight's Coasties is I've chosen something because of the weather. It's going to make you feel nice and good inside, and it's going to give you a bit of a shot of positivity and nice and warm. Going to make you feel like you're getting a nice big hug from Steve tonight. It is Australia's, in just my opinion at least, number one band, greatest band of all time. It is none other than AC/DC with their 2020 album, with their hit single, Shot in the Dark.
Newer tracks by Aussie rock legends right there on Coast FM 963's Roar and More. At the top, we heard from Steve's good vibe of the night, which was, of course...
That was, of course, AC/DC with Shot in the Dark. And tell you what, you mix that in with a bit of a shot of Barnsey. Oh, that's just good to make you feel good all through the night, isn't it?
A loss of words.
Definitely.
I know. Trust me, I've not been doing shots in the studio. Coasties.
Shots of happiness, maybe. And it's funny you say loss of words, because that song you just heard was Cold Chisel with their 2017 single Lost. So there you go, another brand new track-ish in the grand scheme of those bands' careers, and both with beautiful vibes. We were rocking out to that in the studio, weren't we, Steve?
We certainly were.
And speaking of good vibes, it's time for us to take a quick break, but coming up right after this, we're going to be hearing James's good vibe of the night. Bit of a lucky last sort of hybrid segment as well. For the first time in history, the saxophone solo of the week is doubling up as James's good vibe of the night.
Oh, yeah, we got back-to-back here, bit of a hybrid here. So, my the saxophone solo of the evening and my good vibe of the night is a song that will always take me back to the old GTA 5 days.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's like Midnight City by M83. Anytime you're pretty much driving, you get that song on the radio, the video game, and that song will always play.
And it always seems to pop up when you're driving around in the middle of the night.
Oh, 100%.
You sound so excited, James. I love it.
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
right?
It just sticks ya.
Well, actually, Jamesy, while we're on the topic of GTA 5, GTA 6 has been revealed. Are you excited for that?
Oh, I think everyone's going to be excited.
When's it getting released? It's next year, isn't it? They're really teasing it early.
At some point next year, but when it gets released, like, I think the whole week everyone's just going to be rushing in.
It might even come out just before Christmas, so maybe put your Christmas requests in now.
I imagine that, and I reckon it's going to be, like you said, one of the biggest video game phenomenons of all time. Everyone's going to be going nuts. They're going to be flying off the shelves. People
all
are going
won't
to
be working that week.
No one's going to be calling in sick, play the game for a whole week, and judging by the size of it, you won't even complete like 10% of it if you play it for a whole week. So
I don't think you would.
I just hope it doesn't get overhyped. Hey, Jamesy.
I don't think it might live up to the hype, but it might live up to the hype. It might not, but we'll see how we go.
We'll definitely wait and see. But one song that definitely lives up to the hype is our saxophone solo of the week and James's good vibe of the night, which once again was...
It was Midnight City by M83.
I hope you enjoy these beautiful midnight vibes when it is 10 to 9.
Take it away.
Coast of M963, you're on Roar and More. That right there was James's good vibe of the night, which was, of course...
It was, of course, Midnight City by M83.
And you're right, that takes me back to driving around Los Santos in GTA 5, and it makes me look forward even more to what they have in store next year when GTA 6 comes out. Hey, Jamesy, what do you have on for the rest of the week before we wrap things up tonight, sir?
Well, on Wednesday, I'm going to be visiting my nan's place.
Nice.
Which is a very long overdue visit on my part.
Oh, sweet. Is that your dad's mum?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, lovely. Is that just like lunch with the family and stuff?
Just to see her, like, new place, really.
Oh, swanky. How about you, Brando? What have you got on for the rest of the week?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Angus. We got a bit of a catch up with some old friends this week, right?
That's right. A couple of guys that we haven't seen for quite a while, like-minded people we're going to be catching up with. Can't wait to have a yarn, I guess you could say.
Well, you can say that our chemistry was static with them.
I would say it was even electric when we saw him last up in Brandon's favourite city of Newcastle.
All right, anyway, Steve.
What are you up to, Steve, this week?
Yes, well, speaking of Newcastle, I am going to be having a not as busy weekend this weekend. I'm going to be enjoying watching James's favourite team play our favourite team on a Thursday night, and then I'll be back down in Sydney again for the weekend playing goalball down there in Asquith after having a very busy weekend last weekend, also playing goalball and rugby. So it'd be good to have a little bit of free time through some parts of the weekend and watch some of the great games. And just one more time tonight before we go, Coasties, go Manly and up the Waz. Choo!
Yoo-hoo! Well, it sounds like we've got great weeks on. Coming up after 9 o'clock, we got Monday with the A's, Asher and Annie bringing you pop music and all the goss. But we leave you this evening with the song we mentioned earlier that Brando is going to do a version of, Please Don't Move to Newcastle. Here's the original. It's Ballpark Music with Please Don't Move to Melbourne.
See you next week, Coasties.
Bye-bye.